to We Geek podcast. Today is October 28th, 2019. My name is Adam, and I'm joined by my good friend Logan.
Hello.
And man, it's been a few weeks, and it's totally my bad. we need to get I think we've got a good day for now for our schedules to line up. So hopefully moving forward, you'll still be getting the podcast towards the beginning of the week. But yeah, man, how's it been? How have you been the last few weeks?
Not too bad. Not too bad. It's kind of died down at work a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm enjoying that while it lasts because I've got about 3 weeks and then the gates open. So.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. There's a few ones out. There's a few I want to see though. I want to see Jay and Silent Bob.
Yeah, it's so limited though. Like, I know that's how Kevin's movies work and everything. So it'll be we'll probably have to wait till it comes to digital. But yeah, I'm excited for it. It looks fun.
Yeah, I wonder if it's because I just signed back up for the AMC pass thing, and I wonder if it is near me.
It may in Orlando. It may be.
Yeah,
I know the way he's doing the release is like a platform release. So whenever like because he does like his touring Q&As and stuff, and hosts like the showing in the theater and then like the Q&A afterwards.
Yes.
After he does that in that market, it opens limited in that area.
Oh, okay.
So it may come at some point. He's coming to Charlotte at some point before too long, and it's already practically sold out, which is hysterical to me.
Oh, okay.
But I'm hoping that like he comes here and then it opens somewhere around here, because that would be awesome.
Yeah, apparently they came like October 15th and 17th. For Orlando, so it looks like I missed it. So maybe it's showing near me. I didn't see it at the AMC thing though. Their website's like it shows all these big movies. Like I want it smaller so I can see it all on the same screen.
Right.
Yeah. So Zombieland, Joker, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Scary Stories, Black and Blue. I don't see it, unfortunately. Well, that's cool. I don't know. I eventually want to see that. I did see the movie that you did not like.
Which one?
Crawl. I didn't think it was as bad.
Oh man,
yeah.
Here's the thing. Like it's not like horrendous, but it's not a good movie. It's just not.
Yeah, no, this is, to me, it's something you could totally catch on Netflix or something.
Oh, it is absolutely a grab 4 buddies and get drunk and sit on the couch and watch this on Netflix. Oh, hands down, yes.
Right. Me and my friend went to like the Dollar Theater. We had nothing to do, and she ended up she really liked it, and I thought it was I was like that the whole time I'm like, why are they in this situation? And the whole time I'm like, alligators don't act like this. This is not how alligators act.
No, the predatory behavior, like the behavior of the gators they got wrong, but like
on a ridiculous level though. Like they instead of going to a 10, they went to a 200.
Yeah, they were like they're not gonna like nest in a sewage area under houses. Like they stay away, like they stay in water. Like they're not gonna randomly be in the middle of downtown somewhere. That does not happen.
It's the way they reacted. Like I sent a video to her this week on Instagram. I put like Crawl 2, and it was this guy in Florida who a giant alligator crawled into his pool, and he gets in the pool, he swims over to the gator, and he grabs the gator's tail, and he takes him out of the pool. He just pulls him out.
Yeah.
And the gator is just like, now don't get me wrong, don't go around gators, don't feed them. They are extremely dangerous. But at the same time, the movie took it to like to me. It reminded me of what's that shark movie?
Sharknado.
Deep Blue Sea.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, and where like, but they explain in that movie like these are sharks that we have screwed with their DNA, and
right. They're scientifically modified sharks.
Yes.
So they gave themselves an out.
Right, and that's how these alligators are acting now. Don't get me wrong, I would never want to be in the water with a gator. I would never want to be in any of these situations with them. But it got so silly. And at one point I'm like, wait a second, she was under the house, then she went into something else, and now she's in like a underground. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I enjoyed it. We enjoyed it. I thought this should have been just released to Netflix. This would have been a perfect like grab for Netflix where they would have gotten their numbers up. And it would have been a cool like, especially this time of year, like Halloween season. That's what they should have done. But did it even do good in the box office?
No.
Yeah. See, this should have went straight to digital.
No, nobody came to see it. When we did like a crew showing for it, I think it was a larger audience than it had during any of the show times.
Yeah.
And I mean, don't get me wrong, we had a blast with it.
Yeah.
But it's because it's bad. Like it was,
Right.
it's just not fun. And we were so excited because it had Raimi's name on it and it had Asha's name on it, and we
Right.
were like, okay, this if this is gonna be bad, it's gonna be over the top bad.
Right.
And we feel like we got that. So
Yeah. I didn't care about any of the characters either.
no, I was not invested in that story
Yeah.
whatsoever.
Yeah. Yeah. It was interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, well, anyway, so that was Crawl.
Yeah.
What else have I seen recently? I saw Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Which was, what did you think, especially for a PG-13 scary movie?
Well, I'll be honest, I didn't like it. Did you like it?
I did. I really enjoyed it.
I thought it was so mediocre. I thought it was I don't know, Goosebumps. I thought it was better than Goosebumps,
Yeah.
but I wasn't scared at all.
It was creepy. I could see, like, this hits the market that it's going for, which is like
Yeah.
11 and 12-year-olds who talk their parents into letting them go. That's
Well, okay, so let me backtrack.
that's for
Absolutely for that. I guess I need to put my mindset in like that's who it was aimed for.
exactly. That's the audience they were aimed at, was young teens and preteens. That's
Yes.
exactly who that was supposed to be their scary movie, and I think it succeeded on that level. Absolutely.
You're right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
This was the CW crowd's scary movie.
Yes. Now another scary movie that I saw that did freak me out, and who I watched it with, she was like, "That was the weirdest thing I've ever seen."
Ah, you saw Maleficent. Okay.
No. Midsummer.
Sure, go for it.
Have you seen it?
I have no interest in this movie. A
Oh
lot
my
of
God.
like that kind of A24 stuff, which is just kind of the genre of scary movie. I lump that into, like Midsummer, Mother. What was the one last year?
The Witch.
But yeah, I guess The Witch. But
I
there
believe
was
that's A24.
yeah. But
Yeah.
what was the one last year?
Euphoria. Well, I mean, they don't just do scary movies, but yes.
No, but it's
that genre.
Yeah, I know. Like as their brand. Like, I mean, Uncut Gems coming out is an A24 movie.
Right.
But it's not a quote. The way I think of, like, oh, it's an A24 movie. God, I'm trying to remember.
So I think Hereditary is what.
That's it. That's what I was trying to think of. That kind of movie. I'm like, yeah, you guys go have fun, enjoy them. I have zero interest really in seeing these movies.
I love the way it's shot though. Like, and if you take out the scariness of it, it's very much an A24 film where they just do things differently.
Yeah.
They experiment with the way they shoot it. And it is so uncomfortable and so unsettling. And the whole time I'm like, why haven't you left? Why aren't you packing your bags? You just saw something horrific, and I don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah.
But like the premise of the movie, you see it in the trailer. Like it's no secret. They go to Sweden, and one of their college friends, the opening of the movie. This is just a little bit of spoiler for just the very beginning. Is the main protagonist? She goes through a horrific trauma with her family, and she's kind of on her and her boyfriend are going through some stuff, and her boyfriend's about ready to go with his boys to a summer whatever for college. They're going to go to Sweden because one of their friends in college is Swedish. He's like, come back with me. We celebrate this midsummer event. It's like one day throughout the year, and we'll do some shrooms and it'll be very fun and we'll drink. And so they're like, yes. So she tags along with them because of everything that she just went through. She needs to be around her boyfriend, and her boyfriend already had these plans. So anyway, long story short, they go to Sweden. They start doing shrooms, and it is the way it's so weird and cool how they show their perception and the way they filmed that, I thought it was just crazy. It was awesome to see. And then when everything starts going batshit crazy, you're just like, why haven't you left? Like, this is a nightmare. It's so good. It's weird at the same time. Like, it's so weird. Like I said, she's not used to that kind of stuff. She saw Euphoria, um, which is the closest thing to, because it's A24 produces that,
Yeah.
and it's weird. I guess to the broad audience, that kind of stuff is very odd. But it was different. It was new for us. So
Fair.
So if you I mean, I'm pretty sure we got a thing on Amazon. I think you can rent it for a couple bucks. If it's not for you, obviously don't watch it. But if you like Hereditary, you like The Witch. I think, yeah, The Witch. The other one was like It Comes at Night, but I never saw that one.
I vaguely remember that one, but I didn't see
Yeah.
it either.
And I think The Lighthouse is a new one that they just came out with.
I was so bummed. We were supposed to get The Lighthouse, and then like at the last moment, something changed with the distribution plan, and we didn't get it. And I was genuinely bummed because I really want to see that.
Yeah, it looks interesting. And the way they shoot that, it's just so different.
Well, and it's in such a bizarre aspect ratio. I had heard something about that. It's in like it's not a standard format. It's intentional that way. Give me a minute and I'll be able to tell you. But it's, most movies are in scope format anymore, and I knew once upon a time what that aspect ratio was. It's like 1.8 or something? Oh hell, I can't remember off the top of my head, and that bothers me.
1.19.3 dimensions.
Yeah, and that was what they used for The Lighthouse. But
gotcha.
Regular, like standard, is like 1.3. I think it's like 1.375 to 1.
I don't know.
Yeah. Widescreen's 1.85 to 1. But they shot it on such a weird, it's so bizarre. But I loved that. I love that they were like, we're just gonna do, this is just gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, regular aspect is 1.85 to 1. And they shot it, what'd you say, it was like 1.19 or something?
1.19.
Yeah, it's nuts. And there's
wide, yeah.
It's just above square.
Oh, okay.
It's just enough to be off. It's a little short of the old movie tone ratio, which was 1.2 to 1. It's
weird.
It's such a bizarre, it's an intentionally bizarre aspect ratio. Nothing is done in that.
Yeah.
And it's that to me was neat because you look at it and it just looks wrong.
Right.
And I remember that from the trailers. I watched it and I was like, this is not something screwed up here, right?
Yeah.
But it was intentional. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll probably be checking that out this week. Trying to think of other movies I saw between now and then. Since the last time we spoke.
You saw Joker, I assume.
I saw Joker. Yep.
Yes.
You already talked about it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was a great. It was probably DC's best movie since the Dark Knight series.
Yeah. Agreed.
I hope they don't do their big mistake like they did last time and go, hey, everybody likes the Joker, let's do the Flash like that.
Oh my God.
I hope we don't get a Flash from the 80s that's depressed and sad and whatever. But yeah, it was really good. It was extremely depressing. It's not a movie that I want to see really again, I guess.
No, that's fair. That's totally fair.
Maybe I'll see it again when it comes out in digital or whatever, but it's not like one where you're like, oh God, I got it. I imagine with the Star Wars, I'm going to want to see a million times over.
Right.
It's not a feel-good movie. It is very depressing. I thought the message was kind of, it was very odd. I guess I don't want to get into spoilers, but with mental health, because he seems to get happier the more he's not on his medicine.
Well, but isn't that itself a metaphor for he's not really just happier, he's also more destructive.
You're right.
He's
Yeah,
not productive anymore. Also,
right, right.
but
And
my thing I wonder is, did this actually happen?
oh yeah. Yeah.
There's
Again,
so
I didn't
many.
want to get into all the spoilers, but
Yeah.
yeah, I have maybe at the end of the show we'll talk about our ideas of what happened. But yeah, I think a big part of it didn't happen. And I think that's cool. I love that it's ambiguous. I also saw that the director did that on purpose,
Yeah.
and that he will reveal it sometime way down the road of what was real, what wasn't, because it's the Joker. You don't know, and I love that they put that into it. They're like, hey, people are going to. There's a lot of people out there who are not going to want an origin story Joker because it's always been ambiguous. Or I loved how they did it with the Dark Knight, where like he told 3 different stories,
Yeah.
and you don't know what's true. You don't know the two to trust, especially him. And so yeah, I love that. I loved all that. And I think it was on purpose that the movie was supposed to be disturbing. It was supposed to be sad. It was not supposed to be happy. And yeah, I thought it was really good. I thought it was really great. And I loved how they tied in all the. This isn't really that big of a spoiler. You see that Bruce Wayne's family and whatnot is in there, so I love how that was all tied into it and everything. So, yeah, I thought it was really good, really well made. Now it's like the highest rated or the highest grossing rated R movie.
Yep.
Which is awesome.
It beat Deadpool.
It beat W. Now? Do you think they're gonna make another one?
What, another Joker movie?
Yeah, because Joaquin Phoenix said he's down. The director said it could work. They have an idea.
I hope not. Like I'm good with this just where it's at.
But Warner Brother loves money, so there's that.
Yeah, well,
I agree with you. Artistically, yes, it should be one and done. That it told a great story, and if you go off from here, it's not going to be the same.
Right. There's no sequel to Taxi Driver. There shouldn't be a sequel to this.
Right. I completely agree. But yeah, it was. Yeah, it's weird. It's like if A24 made a DC movie.
Yeah, no, it really is.
That's how you can. It's exactly what it felt like. And it was really cool. It was really different. And like I said, it was probably DC's best movie since it. But I don't want them to get the wrong idea because they still want a fun movie. Like I still think they can do fun movies and still be good. They don't have to go back to dark every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look at Shazam. Shazam was an interesting balance because there's a couple of scenes in Shazam where they get like wild dark. Like
right, it deals with really sad things. Yeah. Depressing things. Especially, I mean, he's an orphan, and so like it goes places, but yeah, it was really good. Yeah. I'm trying to think of other things because I've seen a few other things. I just can't. I guess they weren't that memorable. I don't know. It'll come to me. But yeah. Oh, The Watchmen. Well, you want to talk about that now? Or you want to talk about it later? Have you seen any of the episodes?
I saw the first one.
What'd you think of it?
I haven't seen the second one yet. It's exactly what I expected, which is I'm watching this and going, I don't know what's going on, really, but I'm okay with that right now.
Oh, like that's actually not what I was expecting at all.
Oh, it's exactly what I was expecting.
Who are these characters? Like, I never thought a sequel to The Watchmen would go in this direction, but it all makes sense.
Yes.
It all like it's like they took the idea of. I mean, the idea of The Watchmen is that, when they did this in the 80s, it was about the government and about like who is watching the Watchmen, and that obviously that you find out towards the end of the Watchmen movie, spoiler alerts, that the leader of them was actually the one kind of manipulating everything. And that's exactly what this is, but it's set in a different time, which is now like 2019 or whatever, in that universe. And some things are flipped on its head, where now the police, because they banned the superheroes, they banned masked people in the Watchmen universe, but now the police and government officials have to be masked because of an incident called the White Night.
Yeah.
Where a bunch of people in Tulsa, and then I thought that was interesting. They took a historic event, what was it, 1920 something,
29, I think, the race massacre in Tulsa, which was never even like, everybody watching this is like, I've never heard of this, and that was intentionally done.
Yes.
Like
Well,
that had been governmentally suppressed for like 80 years.
right, and that's what David Lindelof, the writer director or whatever, talks about, is that this is an event that really happened, that he felt embarrassed that he didn't realize, he didn't
Yeah.
know about it.
But nobody knew about it. Nobody talked about it. Like, it wasn't allowed to be taught. And I didn't realize that until I did research on it, because I was like, how did I not know that there was an airplane strafing over Tulsa? Like,
Right.
how in the hell does nobody ever mention this? And it's because they suppressed all the information about it for decades.
Yep, it was an embarrassment,
I'll say.
and that very much goes in line with the original Watchmen, comic or whatnot, that with the Vietnam War and everything else, and everything going on in the country at that time, and then of course all that. So it's very much, and now it makes a lot of sense when David Lindelof's explained that. When people asked, "Is this a sequel? Is this a whatever?" and he was like, "It's a remix of sorts." And he said, "Watch the first 6 episodes before you." He's like, normally people watch just a few episodes and then they give up. He's like, "Please watch the first 6, and it will make so much more sense." And it does. I watched a video about like the Easter eggs of the first episode and explaining a lot of things. That helped. I'll put it on our Facebook page if you guys want to listen to it, and it helps explain not just Easter eggs but like tie-ins to what's happening in this time period of this Watchmen story. And you realize that throughout the first episode, you see that boy at the beginning, and what happens to his family, that young child. And then you realize later throughout the episode that that kid is, and he's in a wheelchair. He's older, and he tells the main protagonist, I forget her name, one of the Watchmen characters. She's going into what is going to be a bakery. It's a closed shop, right?
Yeah.
And he asks her, he's like, "Hey, do you think I could lift 200 pounds?" And she kind of laughs at it. And then by the end of the episode, spoilers alerts for Watchmen, please, skip ahead a little bit if you haven't seen it. But he's there next to a guy hanging, which is the sheriff. And obviously, well, how could he lift 200 pounds? Like, it's all setting that up.
Yeah.
And you haven't seen the second episode, so there's a lot revealed as well. They reveal. There's like what I like about this, and I heard David Lindelof talk about this in an interview, was they're doing 9 episodes. And he goes, "This is the Watchmen series. This isn't the first season or the second season. This is my idea of the series." I don't know if David Lindelof will do a second season or if they'll do a second season without him, but he basically said, "I had an idea and I wanted to do it in a certain amount of time." He said HBO really wanted him to do 10 or 13 episodes, but he said when they put everything out, they realized there was a little bit of fat. They cut it, 9 episodes. It's bang, 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 bang the whole way.
Nice.
And there's big reveals in the second episode, because usually the first episode they get you and it's a big like roller coaster, and then they wind down. Especially HBO shows, you get the second, third, fourth, and they're way more slower, and they bring the audience back down. This just keeps going, and I like that it's a sequel to the comics and not the movie.
Yeah.
And that was the only thing that I had to explain to someone I was watching it with. I was like, okay, so remember in the movie with Dr. Manhattan how the ending, and it had, instead of it like it was him as a nuke or whatever, and they changed it to what I had to explain about the squid thing, and that was the only thing I really had to explain.
Yeah.
About the ending.
Because everything else is pretty much the same. That was the only big shift.
Yes, absolutely. And even like there's so many different. What is it? Who was it? J.J. Abrams or no? It was George Lucas who said Star Wars. It's like what's the phrase? Not a rhyme, but it's like a poem where like the first sentence is gonna match like I forget what the phrase is.
We look for like it is like the rhyming pattern. I know what you're looking for. The rhyme scheme or whatever.
Exactly, where like the first. That's why he did these new 3 movies. That's why he matched the first Force Awakens so much to Star Wars, because he wanted to make it new, for a new audience, but also very similar to an older audience. So and that's kind of how this Watchmen series is, because in the second episode, and it's not that big of a spoiler, but you see, and they set this up in the first episode, because you see advertisements for it. It's a TV show that's about to start, and
Oh,
it's
the
about
show
one of the
within the
older
show.
Watchmen.
Yeah.
And they show that in the second episode. You actually see a clip from that show, and in the original Watchmen comic, they do this.
Oh,
You're
the Pirates comic,
the
right?
Pirates, yes. So
Yes.
David Lindelof is doing the exact same thing, but just a different medium.
Oh, for some reason I did not put that together, but of course that makes total sense.
Yes. So while you're, and he's also doing it also with that other character that we see, which they didn't really name yet, but
Yeah.
we all have kind of an idea who he is and what
Yeah.
all the weird people around him and why they're acting weird. You find out in the second episode.
Okay.
But it's also its own little story set off. It could be and I listened to an interview, and he was like, that honestly could be a 10-episode story by itself, but we compressed it to put it into this. There's so many moving parts to this, and I know that sounds like a watch. That sounds
It's
like
a watch joke, yeah.
yeah, watch joke, and I didn't really mean to do that. But if you watch the second episode, I think it will make a lot more sense.
Well, yeah. I would
but
would sure as hell hope so.
yes. What helped me was that clip, that YouTube video I saw, where it pointed out so much stuff. So going into it again, I was like, it's like I did my homework. I was like, okay, all right, now I get the cheat sheets here. But yeah, it was really good. I really liked it. I can't wait to see where this is going. I hope they do more, but it'd have to be right, I guess. But yeah, I'm excited. I thought it was really cool.
Nice.
I think that's it. I know I've seen other things, but I don't know. All right, so where were we?
Starting.
Yes. Oh yeah, I lost my notes. Damn it. All right. Well, let's see here. You go ahead, because I gotta.
Yeah, it was a moderately slow week at the box office this week, which was to be expected, really. Everything wound up kind of in a similar bracket. Joker went back on top. Maleficent, of course, opened bigger its first weekend, but then it dropped like a rock.
Yeah, I hear that's lost the studio a lot of money.
Yeah, because it cost about $500 million altogether, largely including marketing. And, I mean, I'm not crying too much for Disney, because Star Wars is going to make all the money, so I'm not worried.
Yeah.
But, it's a bummer to see, and, like, it's a decent movie. It's not great, but it's not bad either. It's fine, but that's too much money to spend on that. Because the first one, and I don't understand why, because the first one was not a runaway success. Like, It was fine, it was a success, but it wasn't huge.
Yeah.
So I don't quite get why they went all in on this one.
Right.
But Joker just short of 19, Maleficent 18.5. Addams Family just kind of chugging along, about 12. I haven't seen that yet, but I want to. I've heard that it's actually pretty good. That it does the job of like, hey kids, is this your first time with the Addams Family? You'll like this. Hey, are you their parents who grew up with the 90s movies? You'll like this. So that to me is like, they managed to find that line. Perfect. I'm in. I want to see it.
Yeah.
And then Zombieland, just below that, about 11.6. Zombieland was good. And the thing that I say to everybody, because anybody who asks me, hey, is that new Zombieland good? I always say, did you like the first one? Yeah, you're gonna like this one.
Yeah.
If you didn't like the first one, you're not gonna like this one.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then Countdown opened this week with about 9 million, which is, I think, expected. I do not see this movie making a whole lot of money, but I don't think it was made for a lot of money, so it'll pan out in the end.
Yeah.
And PG-13 horror movie, again, it's that market, it's 17 and below. So they'll see it. It's probably made half of its money by now. I don't see it may eventually wind up at like 25 altogether, but I don't see this making a lot of money. I don't.
Yeah.
But this, especially because this week is a strange week. And it has a little something for everybody, except for Arctic Dogs, which I don't want to see because I hate that they changed the name. Did I ever tell you about that? That this originally had like the most ridiculous, badass name ever that would have sold a ton of merchandise to like
What?
6-year-old kids. Arctic Dogs used to be called Arctic Justice Thunder Squad.
Oh wow.
That was the original title for this movie, and then they changed it for no reason whatsoever, because I don't care why. There was no reason to change that.
Arctic Justice Thunder Squad is way better because Arctic Dogs looks like something that you're going to find in a 7-Eleven aisle.
Right, Arctic Dogs looks like, oh hey, Netflix had some spare animators who weren't busy. Like it does. It's like, oh, it's 3D animation. It looks like something that was specifically done for the Disney Channel.
Right, exactly.
Which is not a knock, it's just that style. It's a very, like, this is not a feature film budget level kind of style. The cast is ridiculous. But
right.
I'm sorry, I'm not interested. And Arctic Justice Thunder Squad would sell out to 6-year-old boys. Like, those toys would go flying off the shelves.
Oh yeah.
In a heartbeat. Absolutely. But, so, nobody's going to watch Arctic Dogs. Motherless Brooklyn comes out this week. I am cautiously optimistic about that.
Yeah.
It's not going to do a lot of money, but I think it's going to be good. I'm going to jump one real quick and talk about Terminator, because obviously that's going to win the weekend. The early reviews are promising. Very excited. But I'll tell you what. The more, like, it took me to seeing a trailer. I'm really excited about Harriet. This movie looks badass, and I'm excited for that. And I don't know.
It's about Harriet Truman, right?
Tubman,
that's it. Sorry. Yeah. I saw the trailer for that, actually.
It looks like it genuinely looks badass, and I'm very on board for that.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah, it's good.
So not a bad week. So Terminator is gonna win the weekend, no question. Hoping it's good. I'll get around to seeing it at some point this weekend. Excited.
Yeah, everyone that's seen it that I've seen really seemed to like it. They always say it's the best one since Terminator 2, which isn't saying much.
That's when you consider the alternatives. Although I think Rise of the Machines gets a little more flack than it deserves. Rise of the Machines is not bad. Especially when you think about Salvation and Genesis that came after. But
yeah. But I don't know. It looks cool. Yeah, I've totally lost track of all the Terminator movies. But they said you don't really have to know anything going into this except.
No, the whole point
Terminator
is this.
2.
Yeah, it completely forgets everything. It like the other ones don't matter. It's Terminator, T2, Dark Fate.
Yeah, which is cool. Which is awesome. Yeah, that's probably another one I'll go see. Yeah, I want to see that and Zombieland.
Yeah. Definitely make time to see Zombieland. It's good.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. Oh, hey, let's talk about Star Wars, dude.
Let's talk about Star Wars. I'm finally back in that mode now, full on.
Yeah.
I debated about watching that last trailer. I did.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure, and I didn't know.
Resist.
And then I was like, I have to. And they did what I wanted them to do. They showed quick cuts of a bunch of stuff that spoils nothing.
Yes.
Really.
Exactly.
I mean, you can dive into it and pick apart every little thing. I'm not going to do that because I look at this and I'm like, there's a scene. They're rewiring C-3PO. Why? The movie will tell us. That's the whole point. What was this throne? It looks awesome. Like, it looks like old Ralph McQuarrie art. And I'm like, that's... Oh, yeah. And I love how, like, they've openly acknowledged, like, a lot of this stuff is built on Return of the Jedi rejected designs. Like, those first drafts of things that they didn't use. And I love that.
Right, like, I guess one of them was the throne that they show the Emperor. Yeah, which looks awesome.
Yeah, it's so badass. But I can understand why they didn't go with it back then, because that would have been a hell of a thing to build on that set.
Right. And granted, there was a lot of, it's Star Wars, it looked like a lot of CGI, but it looked like a lot of real things too, like that they were around.
Yes.
They did a really good job of mixing it seemed like. yeah, the biggest takeaway for me was the music.
Oh my god, I'm gonna sit and listen to that score forever.
Oh my god, yeah, I couldn't figure it out. I'm like, I told myself I was like, that's the Star Wars thing we've heard a million times, but it's so different. And when it swells, especially after C-3PO's speech,
Man,
um,
god,
and it,
chills.
yes, and it says this Christmas, and then it shows Poe in the game running down a hall, and stormtroopers are falling, and I was like, I'm in. I'm back. This
Yeah,
this is this, I'm like that was the moment where I was like, I'm back in full Star Wars mode
yep,
now. Because it was so that's not iconic isn't the right word, but it just that those scenes it was like they were triggering those emotions from me.
yeah,
And it was so good. All the with Palpatine talking and saying that you coming together is going to be your downfall, and I think he's obviously talking about Kylo and Rey and the
yeah.
gang or whatever. Um, but it's so oh, I'm just totally back in Star Wars mode. And I like they showed all these different planets. Like they showed this like ice planet, which I couldn't tell if it was it wasn't a reflection. I couldn't tell what it was.
No, it really just looks like Antarctica, but as a planet.
Yes,
You know,
yeah, it
where
was
it's
like an
like,
ice planet.
yeah, but it's not like Hoth. It's not a frozen planet. It's just glaciers on water.
Yes.
And like, God,
Well, no,
watching.
I don't even think it was on water. That's the thing is,
No, I think it was. I think it was. I think that's.
if you look at the still of it, it's not a reflection. Like it looks like it is. It looks like if you're looking at a lake and it's a glacier coming up, and you would see the exact same thing on the other end, but it's not.
So it's just a giant floating chunk of space ice.
It's like a giant float. Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
I
I heard some theories some people threw out there that is it Cloud City frozen over? Like
Oh.
it could be
Oh my
because it
god.
looks like they show Bespin in the trailer.
Oh, imagine if they froze if they froze
And
Bespin. Holy hell.
look who's back in the movie too. We get Lando. Like I
That.
thought, wow, that would be
Oh.
um because there's a scene with Kylo Ren and Rey, and they're destroying what looks like a statue to Vader, but it looks like they're in Bespin. Like I can't wrap my head around it. And she's got this dagger, which I don't understand. I saw a lot of people saying it was the dagger of Mortis from the Clone Wars, but it's not big enough or anything with that. But is that a relic? Like I'm so excited. There's
Yeah.
so many questions. Um, and I don't need necessarily everything answered, of course, and speculate responsibly, of course.
Yeah. I mean,
But
some things they'll
it gets me
have
excited.
to explain, but they don't have to explain every
Yeah,
single thing. I'm okay with that. Like, I'm totally fine with that.
yeah, no, it makes me it just gets that wonder out of me, and it makes me like, okay, I got to see this. I need to see this. I need to know what that is. I'm sure it's just a floating planet. But yeah, it's a cool shot.
Oh god, that the Star Destroyer or Super Star Destroyer, whichever it was, coming up through that ice.
Yes.
Good
Oh yeah,
god, man. Ah.
yeah. And then there's the shot of all those ships, and it's like basically every ship you've seen, and not just the movies, but also the Clone Wars and Rebels.
Oh yeah, no, like this is the showdown. I mean, this is
Yes.
it. And that's
Yes.
that to me. I saw that and I was like, this is the epic Armada versus Armada battle.
Yep.
Like this is the end.
Yep.
It,
And you see Louis and Lando, Louis, Chewie and Lando in it. I combined Lando and Chewie. Somewhere there's a ship of them too.
speaking of ships.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought that was awesome. And then of course that shot of Chewie and Rey, and then Poe and uh, wait, why did my mind just go blank? Finn come in
Yeah.
and sit down. I thought, oh, that's such an iconic little shot there.
Yeah.
The gang's back together, and of course 3PO, who
Man.
just I was like,
Anthony
better
Daniels,
not.
God bless him. Like,
Oh yeah, and it made me think like he's been through this whole thing
yeah, from the beginning, from the
from the
absolute beginning.
Yeah, and what are you doing, 3PO? Like it, oh man, that really got me, and like in a moment where like it got me more than even like thinking about losing Luke, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And you've got to remember, like, 3PO's mind has been erased and reprogrammed how many times? Like, that's just,
Right,
like, I mean, that's just protocol for him.
right. and whatever they're doing
But
with him. Obviously, we've seen
right,
in
but
the other
this
trailer with the red eyes and stuff. But
yeah, and that's the thing. This feels different. This
yeah,
isn't like, oh, he has to have sensitive information deleted. This is a whole different, like, this is something bigger.
yeah, exactly. This is something he might not come back from.
Yeah.
And the stakes are high, and I love that. I thought it was a really cool touch, and of course, I didn't realize it until some people pointed out, but like you see the battle droids in the background.
Wait, what?
Oh yeah, like in the room where he's at, you see like a deprogrammed battle droid on the right hand side
Whoa. I like
from
that.
from from the Gungan fight,
Yeah.
like old like episode 1
Like,
battle droid.
yeah. No, I got you.
Yeah, like it's a room full of droids.
Well, I
And I
mean, that
thought,
makes sense. It's some kind of workshop or plant or something, so that would be understandable.
oh yeah, and my mind immediately went like, what if they reprogram the droids to fight the resistance? Like, wouldn't that be something?
What if
But
they
no,
reprogram the droids to fight the First Order?
that's what I mean. The First Order,
Yeah.
the First Order, like that would be a cool turn. To us cheering for the battle
God, the
droids,
New Republic with an army of battle droids. Jesus,
and we'd
what?
all be cheering for. Like,
God.
what a turn that would be. But
Could you
but
could you just imagine, like, towards the end of this, at some climactic point in a fight against with the droids against the First Order, and somebody like stumbles on to like a short circuiting droid, and it just has like a very weak like Roger, and then it
right,
dies.
exactly.
Like, how many people could be looking at this like, God damn it, I don't want to cry over a droid.
Right, exactly. Oh yeah, and
Oh,
again,
man.
I'm sure it's just a background prop for people to go, oh,
Sure,
look at that,
yeah.
look, it's from episode 1. But your mind wanders, and you start getting these are your toys you want to play with, and
These are the toys they can sell again. So
exactly. Oh yeah, but man, it was just a beautifully shot trailer,
Oh, yeah.
edited together, and the stuff with. I'm assuming he's an indoor where she's training.
I would love that. I would love that so much. It won't be, but God, I would love that.
Well, I know the planet that the ship is, or that the Death Star crashes on, is not indoor, but the planet she's training on looks like indoor.
Could be.
Yeah. And I think they're two separate planets. I think that she's training on indoor, and then they take off and they go to that planet where the Death Star's on, one of the other moons. Because they did announce that. They said that was like an ocean moon.
Right, because let's not forget, like, that's not actually Endor. It's the forest moon of Endor. Like, it's a whole different, which tells you, like, that explains why, like, oh, that wasn't really that planet. It was a moon in that system.
Right. So and there's apparently an ocean planet of Endor. So I imagine she's training. I just, oh man, I want to see an Ewok. Like they have to, right?
After the Porgs, could you imagine like a quick scene of a Porg and an Ewok?
I think it's been enough time that even people who hated Ewoks,
they've come around.
Especially people who thought that was the worst that could happen to Star Wars.
Oh yeah, we got Gungans since then. Ewoks are fine now.
Yes, there's a oh wow, look at that, they're there. And it doesn't have to be this big old thing. It could just be she's running by him. That's it. That's all you got to see.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Houdini, but that's Jawas. but yeah, in the new movies, they have lacked a lot of the original creatures and aliens that we saw from the first 3, but it makes sense because in a universe as massive as Star Wars, the odds of you running into the same, apparently there's a ton of humans, but the odds of you running into the same species, you would think that you'd run into some other ones, and I think that's cool. Every once in a while, we'll see something that we saw from the first 3.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. There's so much to you could dissect from it and pick it apart, but I'm just and the horse creature things that are charging. Oh man, I'm all for
like,
that.
Now, pardon me for a second, but are they leading a cavalry charge in space? Like,
I don't think they're in space.
I mean, they couldn't be, right? Well, although
no. I think they're on top of a ship that's like taking off, or it's not. I don't think they're in space.
Yeah.
I think they're on the ground, but you see up above everything going on, yes, but I don't think they're technically in space.
Part of me wants them to be in space so bad.
Oh yeah, no, I would be totally down for that, and that wouldn't be the strangest thing to happen.
No, that's true. Star Wars has some really well. I mean, giant asteroid space worm. Like we all kind
Yeah,
of forget about that.
right, yeah, they could totally explain that away, but but yeah, like I said, a lot of the things that stuck out to me were the Vader statue and where that was, and like some very odd things. And of course, we see towards the end, we see Palpatine, and we see that maybe Palpatine is on that ice planet thing. But you see him, can't tell like if he's hooked up to a machine or what he's plugged into
Yeah.
when he's talking and showing Rey, but it's creepy looking. Uh, but yeah, I don't know. I'm all in. Can't wait. And it's only dude. It's like 2 weeks to Mandalorian.
Yeah. Oh my God, is it really?
And the thing is, about a month ago, I was way more excited about Mandalorian than Force Awakens, but
Rise of
Rise of
Skywalker.
Skywalker. And now, like, I'm kind of even with it. Like,
Yeah.
I can't wait for both. We got 2 weeks to that, and then I think around the same time is the game, the Jedi Temple, Jedi
Fallen Order. Fallen.
Order.
Yeah.
Yes, which, dude, the people that I like the people from Star Wars Explained and Edgar's Ladder. These are like YouTube channels for Star Wars. They've come out of it, and like the people from Kind of Funny and a few other outlets. There was an event that LucasArts did where they brought everyone, or I guess it wasn't LucasArts, but EA or whatnot, brought them all over to Lucasfilm or wherever, and they showed them the game, and they let them play for hours, and they every person that I saw came back just raving about it. It's not what they were expecting. It's pretty big. Like the planet exploration, it's very Metroidvania, where you do a certain amount of stuff on one planet and you realize you can't get into a certain area until you gain a power or whatever, and it makes you just traverse the planet to planet to planet to planet, kind of like they compared it to like Mass Effect. They're like, this is kind of like the Mass Effect we wanted. I can't wait. And that comes out November 15th, so like 3 days after The Mandalorian comes out.
Yeah.
Which is exciting. So right around that time, we're gonna get TV show, we're gonna get video game, and then a ton of books come out that time too, like the Resistance one or whatnot. So it's gonna be full on Star Wars for the next couple of months, which is great. That's how they should do it. Anytime a movie comes out, especially we're not gonna get one for a couple of years, plan something around it so that for the months coming up to it, it's just kind of just thrown at you and getting you excited for it.
Yeah.
That's how they should do it. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything else to say. I was able to get tickets. Good friend of the show, Rolf, got tickets opening night, so I'm gonna go with him and a bunch of people from this local like nerdy bar, Cloak and Blaster.
Oh yeah, I saw that they had like a. Now what did they do? Like, did they
bought 200 tickets.
Okay, so they bought out an auditorium. Okay, yeah, because
Yes.
we had somebody do that for Endgame. I'm sure we'll have somebody do that for Rise of Skywalker. Like
Right.
like businesses will just buy out, and I mean they pay full price. Like they buy every seat in the auditorium.
Oh yeah.
Now,
Absolutely.
did they set up like a concessions deal too? Because I know some places do that as well.
Yeah, I think you get like a drink and a popcorn or something.
Nice, awesome.
It's just something like there's a whatever. I'm sure I'll buy whatever too there that I want to get. But
yeah,
but yeah, it was like I think it was like $18. To me that's like a normal price for a ticket around here. For like a Super Duty one, like like the whatever you call it, the I don't know, if I was going to the AMC whatever theater to wow, why did my mind just go blank? The Dolby. That's how much like those kind of tickets are. So and that was just such an easy thing to like, oh, I don't have to sit here and wait till the trailer's released to try and get a ticket at midnight or whatever. And I also got a ticket for the Dolby one like the following day or that weekend. So I'm sure I'll be seeing it a few different times. But yeah, I'm excited. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun to be also an auditorium full of just diehard fans.
Oh yeah.
Too. Yeah, that's how you got to see these kind of movies, like opening night. But yeah, dude, I'm pumped.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Yeah, we're about sold out for our first night. We've got showings Our last showtime is 1:30 in the morning, and our
Ah,
first one the next day is at 8, so I get to be there overnight again.
wow.
Yeah, that's what I did. I worked 25 straight hours for the Endgame premiere,
Oh wow.
and I'm gonna wind up doing that again for Star Wars. And I knew
That
it.
o-
Like, I knew that's how it was gonna be. I'm like, all right, bring it on. Let's do it. Like,
Get that overtime. Absolutely.
I'm just like, I figure once Star Wars comes out, I'm basically gonna live there until New Year's. So, it's
Yeah.
gonna be madness because we get Star Wars, and then it's not even a week later as Christmas, and I hate Christmas. Oh, I hate Christmas.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yep. Oh yeah.
So, but we'll get through it. Like,
Yep.
one way or another, with however much staff is left standing, we'll get through it.
Okay.
Yeah, come back to me in 3 months and be like, so how many of that crew is still there? Because we had an
Yeah.
exodus last November. Like, I mean,
Oh wow.
a legitimate exodus of staff, and it's like, damn, okay, well,
Yeah.
fair enough. Because it was like, yeah, we don't want to go through that again. It was staff that like knew, like, this wasn't like new hires, not all of them anyway.
Oh wow.
But yeah, the summer was a bit of a culling too, where it was like, just because every week it was just go.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But we'll see what happens. We're trying to build our numbers back up, but
Yeah.
man, I don't know.
Yeah.
Gonna be a thing though.
It's gonna be busy.
Yeah. That's yeah, and it's gonna be cold at the South Pole. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
oh,
Exactly.
man.
All right. What other news because we can go on about Star Wars forever.
Oh yeah. Oh my
Probably
God.
should jump off.
Yeah. We got some casting news for the Batman. Paul Dano was cast as the Riddler.
Oh cool.
Jonah Hill has backed out of involvement entirely. Like, whatever he
Yeah.
was gonna do, he's not gonna do, which is kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
And we got Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman. So I'm
Yeah.
good with that. I'm all right with that. I think those are two solid cast members. So we'll see how well the writing backs them
Oh,
up.
this cast is stacked.
Oh yeah,
Like these people are seriously talented. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited.
So yeah, it's gonna be up to the. I want to say it's gonna be up to the writers, but this is DC, so it's gonna be up to the executives to not screw this up.
Exactly.
I
Oh, yeah.
guarantee you can deliver a killer script for this, no question. But
Yeah.
it's gonna depend on Warner Brothers and what they decide to screw with.
Yeah.
The Ghostbusters movie has wrapped its principal photography, which is good because it comes out next
Cool.
summer.
Cool.
So very very much excited for this.
Yeah.
Very happy. And in some weird ass news, Daniel Kaluuya and his production company are partnering with Mattel. They're gonna make a Barney movie.
Right. Now, is it going to be based on the fictional character of Barney, or is it going to be
Yes.
based on the actor who played Barney?
No, it's I feel like this is going to be a kids movie, and it's going to be like Finding Barney.
Okay.
That's the vibe I got of, like, because Barney's kind of disappeared over the last few years, and I feel like
Yeah.
that's what it's going to be. It's like we need to find Barney. Where did he go? Well, dinosaurs are
Gotcha.
extinct, so he died. But
I want them to shoot a Last Jedi trailer, but with the Barney instead. And
Don't-
it's just very dark, and at the end, he's just like standing in the cave. I don't know. Sorry. Go ahead.
look, that would be a movie. No.
That would be a movie. Yep. Oh yeah. Anyway, sorry. See, I thought it was gonna be like the actor, and it's about his life, and like he wants to bring like there's no joy on television anymore. Like I don't know, like I don't know. But yeah.
No, I think it's gonna be like a Finding Barney movie.
Starring Selena Gomez.
So,
Why not? Bring it all around.
fair.
That's not the worst thing that could happen. For the movie. Selena Gomez goes on a trek to find Barney.
Stranger Things, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Oy
Speaking of Stranger Things that I thought would never happen because it's been going forever. Dude, this news was announced, 2007?
what?
Black Adam?
Yeah, the Black Adam movie. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's gonna start production next July. So
Oh, yeah.
I guess because The Rock finally found a break in his schedule.
Oh, that was another movie I saw. I don't know if I've talked about this before. Was the Fast and Furious movie with him and
Hobbs and Shaw.
Hobbs and Shaw, yeah.
Most bizarre but fantastic pair of cameos in that movie, right?
So many different cameos.
But I loved, like, I think my favorite
Yeah.
were the two that, like, I should have seen coming.
Yeah.
You know, the one I should have, as soon as I showed him, I was like, oh, okay. But I'm sorry, his partner.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to spoil this for, like, the one person who may be listening to this who hasn't seen it yet.
Right.
But it's just, what the hell? Like, where did he come from?
Right. Oh, yeah. When he popped up, I was like, what?
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay, so this movie, so we're going this way with this movie. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
And I'm
yeah.
sorry, but the best thing to hear around the theater now is anytime somebody's in, like, a playfully, I'm kind of tired of all this mood, I will stab you with a brick.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, it's a thing now. It's a legit thing.
Oh, yeah.
Turns out it's not that hard.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But I love how ridiculous it is. It's so ridiculous.
Oh, it is. Because it steers into it full bore. It's like, yes, this is over the top. Of course
Especially towards the end, they're like, you know that one thing that was an issue? Well, this is a bigger thing that's an issue.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, this is just, they need to make, why is it not a video game yet? Like, this should be a video game.
Because it's already a video game.
That's what, yeah, I don't know. I got like, it's just so campy, and I don't know. But yeah, I'm excited to see what Hobbs and Shaw 2 is, and who the because no spoiler, but there's a bad guy they don't show and you only hear, and I'm curious who that is. But yeah, no, I'm excited, and you know, Tyrese was so embarrassing when he was putting down this movie. It's like they can exist in the same universe, like Fast and Furious movies. I'm just as excited for the next one of those.
Yeah.
That I am this series. Like, they can exist together and, you know, eventually play off of each other where the characters, you know, intertwine or whatnot.
And here's my fun thing about this. There's 2 Fast and Furious movies left, because they said they're stopping at 10, which I think is fair.
Oh, they did?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they said a while ago. Like, they're stopping
Believe
at
that?
10. Yes, I do.
Those movies make too much money.
Yeah, but they also cost a crap load of money, and they take forever to make. And I think it's because most of the principal cast that's left is tired.
Maybe they're just seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. They're like, we should probably cut our Yeah.
It's like this franchise was not destined to be this at all.
Yeah.
How in the hell did this happen? Let's be thankful for what we've got and put, you know, a timer on it and be done with it. And that's why we're getting spin-offs. That's their way of extending it. But there's going to be 2 more in the main series. And I'm sorry, but Fast 10, whatever it is, because John Cena is going to be in Fast 9.
Yes.
We know this. There's going to be a Hobbs and Shaw 2 in between.
And so is what's her name? Cardi B.
Yeah.
See
Well,
that?
I'm more focused on John Cena for a minute, just because.
I know, but they usually have a hip hop artist,
Sure.
female or whatnot. They throw it in there. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm like
I'm waiting for Post Malone myself, even though he's on the soundtrack.
Yeah, he'll be in Hobbs and Shaw 2. You watch, watch, and Hobbs and Shaw 2 and
or something.
Yeah, Hobbs and Shaw 2 and Fast 9 are gonna dovetail with, you know, Fast and Furious the finale, whatever they decide to call it, and you're going to have The Rock and John Cena on the same team, and just like Rock, Cena, Vin Diesel is just a lineup, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, they can be standing over Tyrese. I don't care.
I'm shocked they haven't got someone like Braun Strowman in there, like as massive as that guy is.
You watch, he'll be in Hobbs and Shaw 2 too.
Yeah, he should be. Dude's a beast.
Like they got Roman Reigns in the first one. Like
Yep.
He'll be in the sequel.
Oh yeah.
And he'll be like, and why? Well, because look at it. Yeah, fair point. Like
Exactly.
done.
Right.
Like, what do we need him to do? Stand there and look scary. Hey, done. Like, he can do that literally in his sleep.
Yep, exactly.
He could just prop him up. He could stand there asleep, and you would just be like, I'm not messing with that dude.
Right, right.
No.
And he can do comedy too, man.
Yeah. Ask Kevin Owens.
Yep, exactly.
God.
Yeah.
God.
Oh yeah.
But and Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness has a writer. I didn't know it needed a writer. I thought, they had the title and everything. I figured they were gonna have somebody to go along with that.
I thought it was I thought all that was done already.
Yeah, but they've tapped Jade Bartlett, who I looked for briefly, but like nothing jumped out. So I'm like, okay, cool, somebody not a seasoned vet, and we'll see this a little later on again too.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, cool, go for it. Why not? Knock it out. We continue on the Disney train pretty much from here on out for movies. The Pirates of the Caribbean reboot that originally had the Deadpool writers attached, they bailed earlier this year.
Right.
It's got new writers. Ted Elliott, who was a co-writer on, I think, like all of the Pirates movies up to this point, and Craig Mazin, who did Chernobyl, which was apparently really, really good. I did not see it, but that was the.
It's an odd choice for Pirates of the Caribbean, but yeah.
Yeah, well, Todd Phillips directed The Hangover, and then he did Joker, so.
That's true. That's true.
Also, somebody that Craig Mazin collaborated with on The Hangover, on the second and third, I think.
I don't know why this made me think of that, but I also saw the Paul Rudd Netflix show. I think it's because of what you said about how the director went from
from one style to another or something.
Yeah, and Paul Rudd has talked about the best kind of comedy is a drama. It comes from drama.
Yeah.
And that made me think of it. But I saw his show on Netflix. We'll talk about that later, I guess. But yeah, about him being a clone. Anyway, sorry, didn't mean to derail this. So Pirates of the Caribbean, I don't know. I can't get excited about Pirates of the Caribbean at all.
No, especially when they're making another Disney ride into a movie. I'm not we can put Pirates on the back burner for a while. That's fine.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You know what I am excited for though? I saw that they announced a new Riddick movie.
Did they?
Furia, I think it's called.
Okay.
Like they're going back to that planet.
Right.
Like, when they made they did what? Riddick and then Chronicles of Riddick, and Chronicles of Riddick was very different. It was like a
Well, no. It was Pitch Black.
That's it, Pitch Black.
Yeah, then it was Chronicles of Riddick, and then it was Riddick.
Right. And Riddick kind of went back to Pitch Black.
Yes, it was more a singular focused, like compressed kind of story. Chronicles of Riddick tried to be like a big sprite, tried to be the Matrix.
And I think the Furia is trying to be more like that, where it's like we're going back to the home planet.
Okay.
I liked that though. That was my favorite out of all of them. I liked what they set up there, like what happened at the end, and I don't know, maybe I'm in the minority here, but I really liked that one.
I mean, it was okay, but I enjoyed, I liked Riddick much more.
Yeah, that's cool. That was the one where they're like on an ice planet, right? What am I thinking of?
That might have been Pitch Black. I haven't seen Pitch Black in a while. That might have been it. Riddick
Maybe.
wasn't an ice. It wasn't an ice planet because it wasn't frozen.
It was an ice planet.
I don't know. It might have been cold, but it wasn't an ice planet.
I don't know what I'm thinking. Because I thought the first one was like a desert planet for sure. Why do I think it was on an ice planet? Maybe that's I don't know. Anyway, sorry.
I don't know. I haven't seen any of these in a while, so my memory is not great.
Yeah, me either. The game was really good though.
The game was fantastic. Yes, it was.
Yes,
it was.
But anyway, sorry.
But,
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah. Disney is also looking to reboot Inspector Gadget, doing another live-action version of that.
That should be like a Disney Plus TV show or something.
Right? I think that's the best way to go, but I don't know. We'll see what they do there.
Speaking of Disney Plus.
Yeah, one thing they are doing with Disney Plus, they got Jen D'Angelo from Workaholics to write the script for the Hocus Pocus sequel.
Perfect.
And they are really trying to get as much of the original cast back as they can, especially the witches. So I,
And they all die.
yes, but
Okay, it's witches. We'll figure it out.
we're a strange bunch, we are. But
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know.
a good movie. I liked it.
It's enjoyable, and it stayed enjoyable. Like you can still watch it. It's great.
Did Hocus Pocus get like a theater? I always remember just seeing it on VHS and TV.
It did go to theaters, and it was like, it's whatever. It's another Disney movie in theaters, which at the time they were doing like crazy. It didn't do gangbusters at the box office.
But I imagine I don't know if it's just my kid memory, but I thought like everybody loved Hocus
Oh
Pocus.
yeah. Oh no, it did. Once it got released on a VHS, that was when it just exploded.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool. Kind of like Sandlot, I imagine.
Yeah, something like that. Where it's like, yeah, a bunch of people went to see it, but that was a home video release that just blew up.
Yes. Yeah. We got some TV news here?
Yeah, sticking with Disney Plus for a minute, we got a little more in-depth on the Obi-Wan series.
Okay.
It's going to be 6 episodes.
Okay.
They're each going to be an hour long, and it's going to be set between 3 and 4.
Cool. I'm in.
And apparently, Ewan McGregor has known about this for 4 years.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's been a while.
That was what was fantastic. He's like, I've been lying to people for 4 years about it. And I was like, well, goddamn, get this man an Oscar just for that. Shoot.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think it was originally going to be a movie, and then everything that kind of happened in the last few years.
Right. He was always attached to some kind of Kenobi project.
Exactly, yeah.
And now with Disney Plus, they're like, now we've got this figured out.
I prefer this. We get 6-hour-long things. Like that, instead of basically a movie, which would have been half that at best.
We're essentially getting 3 movies. We're getting a Kenobi trilogy worth of material in terms of time length. But I'm very happy about this way, no question.
Yeah.
Apple TV Plus is getting a new show from Spielberg and Tom Hanks' production company. Basically, everybody did like Band of Brothers and The Pacific. They're doing another one. They're going back to that for Masters of the Air, which is going to be about the Air Force during the time.
Oh yeah, and they also have a TV show called The Foundation.
I do not know this one.
Based off of a science fiction novels.
Sure.
And it's going to star the actor from Chernobyl.
Okay.
Jared Harris.
Okay.
And then also Lee Pace, who you might know from Catch Fire, Halt and Catch Fire.
Yeah, no, Lee Pace.
Yes, and he was also, he was in Guardians of the Galaxy and whatnot.
Yeah, that's Ronan. He was Ronan.
Ronan, yes.
He was also an elf in Lord of the Rings. I can't remember which one. Sorry, but yeah, as soon as you see him, you're like, oh yeah, him with the hair.
Yes. Yep. Oh yeah, absolutely. Which is pretty cool. It's supposed to be. I don't know anything about the plot. I just know it's science fiction. I think they're in space, and they have to take down it's a big space opera type thing. So
yeah,
cool. Apple is getting out there trying to get some that's some serious talent.
Yeah, TV Plus launches on Friday, right?
Yes,
the 1st.
Yep.
And it's the first. Now things are gonna be weekly, but they launch with the first 3 episodes of stuff, right?
Yes.
Okay. Because I know there's the morning show and C, and there's a couple of others.
Right. And again, all of this is free if you buy any Apple product. I think now, if you buy any of the new Apple products, they'll give you a year's subscription for free. So if you go out there and buy an iPad or Apple Watch or
an Apple
kind of stuff,
or an Apple TV.
Apple TV. If you buy an Apple TV, you get a whole year free. So you can test the water with this. I'm sure some of this is not going to be out next year, but you'll get some of the stuff they've announced. Especially, what was the C? I think was the one that really the only one that I kind of was like, oh, that looks awesome.
Yeah, it looks genuinely epic.
Yes, absolutely. But yeah, so I don't know. I thought that was pretty cool. I don't know when this one's coming out. I don't think it. Oh wait, I'm sorry. They went into production, so looks like the series. Oh, it's in pre-production. Sorry. So, yeah, probably not until next year. But yeah, I thought it was cool. That's some video game news. A lot of it, actually.
Yeah. We got some of the details about the PlayStation 5. They talked tech. A lot of that didn't particularly interest me.
It's gonna have ray tracing, and
I
it's got a lot of expensive parts.
Yeah, it's going to be fast, it's going to be pretty, it's going to be expensive.
Yes.
And it's, going to be something to wait a year for, not just because the price will go down, but because the next model is always better.
Yeah, Mike, I'm gonna guess here. I'm probably way off. I'm guessing between $500 and $600.
I don't know how you go more than 5. I don't.
That's I mean,
And
I
I know
mean
you take.
they've been known to do it at a cost for them, I
Yeah.
guess. But the graphics cards and the stuff they were talking about, I don't know how you do it cheaper than that. Or yeah,
No,
I
I think
can't
I
imagine.
think 5. I don't, because you can't do it at 4. There's too much. It's
Right.
too.
Yeah.
In a year's time, in 2 years' time, you can sell it at 4 and probably turn a profit. But because
Totally.
because everything will have moved on by then. Because 2
Right.
years in tech is a lifetime.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about SSD drive, the ray tracing cards.
Yeah.
Those two alone, those two components, are $600.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be fascinating. But we're here for it. I know Xbox is doing Holiday 2020 as well. They announced.
Yeah.
So they're going to be going at each other. It's going to be an interesting time, man. That if you don't have a PC, for example, that Game Pass, I guess it's good for both. But I mean, like that would make me kind of think Xbox.
And yeah, like for that alone, like Game Pass is a magnificent deal. The Outer Worlds dropped on Game Pass.
Right, I'm playing that on my PC, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, I haven't gotten into it yet because I actually, in a bizarre quirk, found Modern Warfare at a Redbox around here.
Oh, hey, yeah,
so
I'm playing that too.
Yeah, so I've been going through the story, and I have to send it back tomorrow. I think tomorrow's my 3rd day, so I've got to take it back. So I kicked through the story, and it's good. It's engaging, and I like it. Because I'm the weirdo. I play Call of Duty for the story, which is why I did not play Black Ops 4 because there wasn't one.
I haven't seen. I used to play just for the story. I'm now the opposite, I guess.
Yeah.
I jumped right into the multiplayer, but I have to play the story because you have to play the story to unlock some things in the multiplayer.
Yeah.
Like the character skins and stuff.
But it's good. The stories have picked up since because like Advanced Warfare and Infinite Warfare were not good stories.
Right.
They were too by the numbers. It was too much like, hey, look at this tech and everything's new and fascinating and neat. And that was all it was. But when they went back to World War II, and it was like, no, you have to tell a story here.
Right.
That was when they shined. And it looks like they're doing that again with Modern Warfare, where it's like,
it looks gorgeous.
It's beautiful. And I mean, I'm playing, on a non-4K TV on a first model PS4.
Right.
So it's, and it still looks beautiful. I can't imagine what it looks like on something 4K with a Pro, or, with a 1X.
Oh, dude, on the PC, it is... like the lighting and the fire and oh my god, it's insane. Yeah, it's great.
But so I mean, that's once that goes back, Outer Worlds easy. Like I'm diving right in because I'm excited about it, and the reviews are promising. They're like, yeah, it's actually pretty good.
I played a couple hours of it. It's awesome. It's great.
Nice.
It's a less buggy Bethesda game.
Which is kind of what it looked like they were going for. So
oh yeah, it's full on like it's like there's no qualms about who they're trying to not copy, but like this is that kind of game. And,
here's where we drew our inspiration from. So it's and I mean that makes sense.
Yeah, give me more like that. I mean, but we all know Bethesda's apparently working on a Bethesda-like game set in space, so I'm curious what that's going to be about.
Yeah.
But this is more of like a Fallout game in space. I hope Bethesda's not a Fallout game in space. I want it to be like I don't know, different, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fun. Both of them I'm having a blast at right now. And I like I got the Call of Duty on PC because you could play anybody. I could play you on your Xbox or your PlayStation if I wanted to, in the same room, which is awesome.
Nice.
Yep. So I could play like my buddies who get on the PlayStation. We can all play together in the same map, same everything. So
is it what? Just everybody that's on the same like network?
So like if I boot it up on the PC,
Right.
for the most part, I think it tries to match people who have the same mouse
Sure.
and keyboard.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense.
So that's the first group of people it goes to. I also think there's people on the PC who play with a controller, but I think it will match me with mouse and keyboard first, no matter what console it's on, the PC, the Xbox, the PlayStation. But I've booted up and I've gotten to matches where it's straight up all Xbox and PlayStation people, and I'm really the only PC. And I think it's because it's, hey, we need someone in this match right now, and so they get me. So like, there's never an empty match. You're never waiting for a multiplayer because it has a big ass pool of people to pick from. But I think it does try to smartly, like, and you can turn those on and off. So like if you're playing on the PlayStation, it's automatically set for you to just, I think it's automatically set, I'm not sure, but there's a toggle in your options that says cross-platform. And so you can turn that on and off. So like if you don't want to play with mouse and keyboard, you don't have to. You're fine. But if you want to play with your buddy who has an Xbox and you have a PlayStation, or they have a PC, you can all play together and then just hop on Discord.
There you go.
Yeah, which is awesome. So that's the future. Every company needs to adapt that. Imagine if Destiny was like that. Imagine.
Oh man, you kidding me? Shoot.
And it should be. It should be. You should not be. You bought a PlayStation, your buddy got an Xbox because, or your wife or your mom or your boyfriend or whoever bought you a console. You shouldn't not be able to play with your friends because they got the other one. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's silly. But yeah, I thought that was awesome. Moving forward, that's how all the Call of Duty games are going to be, with the cross-platform. And I imagine most multiplayer games are moving forward. Like Blizzard is going to do BlizzCon in a few weeks. I hope they announce at BlizzCon that, because it's already been leaked, what's their first-person shooter game?
Oh, you look for Overwatch?
Overwatch, yeah. I hope Overwatch too. I hope they announce it's cross-platform.
Yeah, well, it's also gonna have. It's gonna be. There's gonna be some PVE with it as well.
PvE stuff.
Yeah.
The future is cross-platform and seasons. That's how they should do it.
Yeah.
If you want to sign up for the season with Destiny, I think it's $10, and you get that whole season thing. That's perfect. That's easy for you to go. It's $10 because that's like what? That's two people eating at McDonald's. For one meal.
That's one person eating at McDonald's.
Or one person if you're super hungry and like you want to get the nuggets on top of your meal.
Well, yeah, I mean, I get a 20-piece nugget and a large fry, and it's like $9 after tax.
Exactly, yeah. So so that's manageable, and you get all the perks of that season, and then you can do like 4 seasons a year or whatever. So that's how you do it. You don't do the loot boxes. You don't do all that other stuff. And Overwatch, the first one, is nothing but loot boxes. So if they're smart, hopefully when they announce it, hopefully they saw all this coming and they go, you get seasons, you get cross-platform. We've thrown in PvE stuff because we've realized people really actually like the characters and the story.
Yeah.
And Blizzard, that's a whole other thing with Blizzard. Everyone's eyes are going to be on BlizzCon to see how they come out and talk about, if they even do talk about the controversies with them. And I imagine they are going to want to focus a lot on like the community and here are the games we're announcing, and we're sorry about last year with the mobile game announcement and that kind of stuff.
When they announce Diablo 4, which I hope they're going to, I hope that like after the trailer, the guy just comes out and just goes, "So here's what our PC devs have been doing."
Yes. Oh yeah. I think it's I think before all the controversy this year, I think they were focusing on, we got to make this up to the players, the PC, our bread and butter. We got to hopefully that's what they were coming at. And now with the new controversy, which is something completely different, I don't know. I hope they have to address it. The smartest way I think would be, hey, look, there are people outside protesting. We encourage you to interact with them. We encourage you to, if you're going to do an article, go talk to them, do an article about it. It's important. But right now we want to focus on our community and what we have coming forward. That's something like that, to where they address it. They know that it's a big deal, and they say, hey, we're all for that. Now let's shift this way and let's do this. Because if they just don't address it, you're just going to have people shouting.
Yeah.
It's just going to be trolls, and it's just going to be a disaster. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting. That's in a few weeks. That's early November. So we'll see. But yeah, well, I guess we talked about Overwatch 2. So Fallout 76. What happened?
Okay, so Bethesda has decided to lose their mind completely now, and just go beyond around the bend. So first of all, they announced like, "Hey, do you guys want private servers for your Fallout 76 games? That would be neat, right? Give us $100 a year and you can have one." And everybody just kind of went, "I'm sorry, what?"
Well, what's crazy is it makes sense they're going to charge for private servers,
Right, but Jesus.
but all the stuff they locked behind it is what's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because basically what happened is they did like they did a Q&A for their community. They said, "What would you guys like?" Biggest thing was private servers, and then of course unlimited scrap box storage. All the other stuff they didn't have to lock behind the private servers.
No, they didn't.
But they did. So it's like, okay, now you have to pay for all the features you guys wanted. $13 a month.
Yeah.
That's like 2 Hulu accounts.
Yeah.
With commercials.
That's 2 months
like the
of
World of Warcraft, the entire World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Dude, you could go, actually $13, you could go get the Game Pass.
Yeah.
You go play Outer Worlds right now, and Gears of War, and all those wonderful Microsoft games.
Yes, with Game Pass Ultimate, which includes Xbox Live.
Right. That's insane.
Yeah.
It's absolutely insane. Like, why would they think that? And the week Outer Worlds comes out, like, what are they thinking?
They're not. They clearly haven't been with anything Fallout 76 related at all.
It's insane.
And apparently it also doesn't work that well either, because it's erasing things in people's scrap boxes.
Oh my
god. And some people are saying, "Hey, by the way, this looks like a server that you guys have already used."
Oh my god.
Oh, it's a nightmare.
That is a night. You can play Shadow Warrior 2 right now. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. Like, there's so many games. Forza Horizon. God, it's just ridiculous.
Yep.
Oh my god. I can't believe that.
But
I mean, I guess I can, but that's just so silly. That's so silly.
Bethesda's gonna Bethesda, I guess.
Yeah, I'm waiting for someone to turn the corner with this.
Like, if this isn't it, then hell.
I don't want these companies to fail. Like I over the last few years, I'm slowly watching these PC companies that I've loved just crash and burn.
Yeah.
Blizzard, Bethesda. Like these are like this is the Bethesda the studio. I think the last great game they made was Skyrim.
Yeah.
And it was because it didn't have all of this bullshit.
No, they made a game. Done. End of story.
Yes.
And then, yeah, eventually they put out a little extra content, but it was very PC style, like, here's just some extra weird little stuff.
Yeah.
And instead now they're like, hey, here's a game that we kind of finished.
Well, it was the game before that, Oblivion, when that came out, that had the controversy. That was one of the first big games that were like, we're going to sell you horse armor. And the backlash from that was insane. Now, that's so laughable now. But remember, that's why when they did Skyrim, they were like, here's some DLC that's like actual DLC. It felt like how when Witcher 3 did DLC. Like, here's some big chunks. And I'm waiting for them to turn the corner, and they failed so miserably with the Fallout franchise. Everyone's eye now is on Elder Scrolls, because what are you going to do with that to mess this up? How could you mess this up? The sequel to Skyrim. But it's gonna happen. It's terrible.
Yep. We got a spat of delayed games over the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
Doom Eternal delayed to March 20th of next year. The Last of Us Part 2 delayed to May 29th of next year.
Was really looking forward to Doom this year, but hey, I'd rather a delayed game than a bad game.
Yeah, speaking of a Bethesda-owned company.
Yep. But the Doom series has been great.
That's the thing.
They don't have their hands in it too much.
Right. I am perfectly fine with id looking at this and going, you know what? This isn't right yet. I'm for any company that's going to look at a game and say, you know what? We're going to have to blow the deadline. We're sorry, but we don't feel like this product is ready yet. Right. Okay, cool. Go for it.
Right.
Take your damn time. Make the thing and make it right.
Yep. Now
Last of Us delayed till May.
well, see, that's the one where, and I know like Ghost of Tsushima was delayed as well.
Yeah.
Um, those are the two where I am kind of worried about because now you're getting to PlayStation 5 territory. Do you wait for the PlayStation 5 version, or do you play this a few months ahead of time?
Oh, I get the 4 version easy because
I
I'm
don't
not
know.
getting a 5 for a year.
Okay,
So
so I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, so I'm good with that. But I mean, GTA 5 had the same problem, and that certainly didn't hurt.
That's true, and I'm wondering how they're going to do this too. Like, if you buy the PlayStation 4 version and you get the 5, it's backwards compatible.
Yes.
Do you just play the PlayStation 4 version, or do they upgrade it automatically? Or do
That's
they sell the upgraded version? I'm curious how all that works.
here's the thing. We know that the 5 will be backwards compatible with PlayStation 4 titles.
Right.
They did announce that. So you
Select titles.
Yeah, which I imagine this will be one.
Right. Yeah. Anything I imagine the last few years will be definitely.
Yeah, it's everything first party in particular.
Right.
Or,
right.
Second party, because I guess Spider-Man at the time wasn't technically a first party title because they hadn't bought Insomniac yet.
Right.
But games like that, exclusives in particular.
Yeah.
But I imagine here's what I'd be okay with. Buy The Last of Us Part 2, when it's at launch or whatever, blah blah blah. Play the hell out of it. When the PS5 comes out, here's what we'll do. $10 and you can upgrade your version. You have to have
perfect
installed, but like make it an option in the PS4 version. Like to go through the store. That way somebody's not just buying an upgrade code or something.
Right.
It goes from the game through the game to the store, and it's like, yes, we have verified you have you have this copy of The Last of Us Part 2, blah blah blah. For $10 we upgrade you to the PS5 version with whatever particular graphic enhancements and whatnot there is. I'm on board with that. Done. Sold. Sign me up.
Right. And I don't know what goes into a game to make it upgradable, but I have to imagine it's like a PC. You have different PCs. They're very different. You just have the different settings where you can turn on all that shit to make it, the RTX, the ray tracing, all that stuff just turned on.
Yeah.
And bam, your game is updated. I hope it's as easy as that, because that would be justifiable to say, yeah, $10, you have the upgraded version, and now you can play it on your PlayStation 5, or you can just play the other version. It's just not going to look as good. But yeah, dude, yeah, perfect. That's how you do that. That's how you, and then you could retroactively go back and do a lot of games like that, like Spider-Man or anything in the last few years, where you can like have a really awesome version of those games. Because I don't think it was just by chance they were showing the Spider-Man game. This is how it's going to run on PlayStation 5. These are the load times. These are whatever. Because I guarantee you that's going to be one of the games that they re-release. And they're like, here's our spectacular Spider-Man edition.
Here's our spectacular Spider-Man Game of the Year edition. Game of the Year PS5 edition.
Exactly. Like basically no loading and all this other crazy stuff. So yeah, it's going to be cool.
Yeah, but how many times do we usually hear that promised, and like 2 years in, people are making games where it's like, and we're back to 5-minute load screens. Like,
right, exactly.
I'm looking at you, EA.
But granted, Sony has done a great job, and you'll notice this in their games. Instead of opening a door, you go through like a small crevice. Or when you open the door, there's like something stuck. And there's like that animation of them opening up the door very slowly and slipping in. Yeah. That's because they're loading everything in that room while you're doing that transition.
And you know what cracks me up? You know what that reminds me of?
What?
Resident Evil.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Because every time
that's
it's like
how they had to do it.
Yeah, because every time you go through a door, it's like going through the door was the loading screen, but it didn't feel like a loading screen. It was a clever little bit of smoke and mirrors.
Right, exactly. It was just like Skyrim or the Elder Scrolls game before they decided to change that.
Yeah.
And it was because they didn't have the tech to do that. I mean, I saw a video on YouTube that I didn't even realize this, that the reason why old Final Fantasy games like Final Fantasy VII, where they had you enter a room and there'd be nothing for you to do and you'd have to walk around the room and go all the way over and then go through a door on the other side, is because they know that other screen has a ton of crap on it, and they need you to go through this first screen so it can load all the other stuff.
Yeah.
And it was like one of the first times they started doing that kind of stuff. So I don't know. I thought it was fascinating. But anyway. That kind
anything.
of stuff is interesting to me.
No, and you're right, and it's anything to avoid breaking that connection. Like because
Exactly.
that's what load screens are. Like
Yep.
it's just like, oh, it's a disconnect. Now I'm
Right.
not in the game anymore. Like
Right.
that's
Right.
anything to get rid of that.
Right. You're gonna show me a spinning thing in Skyrim. It's just you
Yeah.
can turn it. But yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
So that's where I think the PlayStation 5 is gonna shine. It's gonna be those little things, and it's not like these graphics. Or I think it's gonna be the little things like less load screen, booting it up and it immediately starting, especially now that it's on an SSD drive, everything's going to be so much faster.
that's the one thing that, like, of everything else, it's like ray tracing is like graphical enhancements. Okay, cool. That
The
doesn't.
lighting and stuff.
Yeah, it's like that's neat. It doesn't mean a whole lot to me. But and I know very little about the difference between disk drives and the solid state drives, except that I know solid state drives are faster as hell.
Yeah, like when I turn on my computer and I press the button and then I look over to the screen, it's on.
Yeah.
Like if I go to my old PC, it's like I boot it up, I hear the noise, I hear the fans running,
Yeah.
I hear the monitor turn on, I wait about a minute, and then I see a Windows loading screen. Like it's so different. It's so incredibly different. So, absolutely, it's going to be so much faster. That's going to be all those little tiny things I think are going to add up. Same with Xbox, of course, both systems. When I say PlayStation, I mean both. I guess it's just because I have just a PlayStation now, but both consoles are going to be like that, hopefully. And they need to keep the interface just simple, just as simple. I love the Xbox's interface on the PC. I don't know if it's anything like on the console, but I just love how simple it is, and everything's up and it's there, and it's all my games are on the left hand corner like little apps. I love it.
Yeah.
It's so easy to move around and to find things. I hope that it's somewhat similar.
It not entirely, I don't think.
Okay.
I mean, it's not complicated, but it doesn't. And maybe it's just me, and I
Uh,
don't take full advantage of organizing or customizing. I'm just like, okay, this is what this is.
and I also like how simple the PlayStation one is. It's like all your stuff that you played recently, it's right there.
Yeah.
And you can create folders and stuff like that. It's cool. I'm curious about all that little stuff when it comes out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we had some Ubisoft news.
Oh yeah, they delayed like basically everything until sometime between April of next year and March of 2021.
Yeah, I was listening to the Kind of Funny people, and they were talking about they listened to what is it, the investors call,
Yeah.
and the investors they were like, why are we delaying all this? And they kind of went into detail about how they realized that they were releasing too many games close to each other.
Well, because the Division 2 and whatever the last Ghost Recon was, what was it, Breakpoint, I guess?
Right.
Whatever it was called.
They were cannibalizing their games.
Exactly. And so they looked at that and said, yeah, nobody like Division 2 did decent, and then nobody bought Ghost Recon. Like
Right.
it did not, like it tanked. And so they looked at that and they were like, yeah, so that's the one thing that I love Ubisoft about. When they screw something up, they look at this and go, okay, we screwed up. How do we fix it?
Yeah.
I love them for that, and I have always given them credit for that.
Yeah.
So I am perfectly fine with like, hey, we're gonna have some space between games because of course you should. Like, I don't understand, and especially two very similar games.
Right.
Like I don't care if Watch Dogs Legion comes out and then like 2 months later Just Dance comes out. Like those markets do not overlap at all.
Right.
But
yeah, well, the thing is they also in the call they were talking about how they missed the mark on live services. They didn't realize that they could do Division 1. They put Division 2 out too fast, and that they really should have spaced it out more and just did more. That more people were invested in Division 1. They thought would jump over Division 2, and they didn't. And so
yeah.
They're rethinking it. And what was crazy was again, these are the Kind of Funny people. They were saying the investors were baffled that Ubisoft refuses to put in. Now they have loot boxes and mechanics like that, but they are not overshadowing everything else. They're not. It's not like EA. It's not like Activision.
Yeah.
there are some things where you can purchase or whatnot, but they prefer selling you items that you know you're going to like. Here's an item, and you can buy it. Here's the price
Yeah.
for that item. They're more known for that. Where like, if you want this skin, it's $1 or $2.
Right. Instead of just like, hey, here's a mystery thing.
Here's a mystery chest. Yes, and like one of the investors was like, "What do you guys know what you're doing?" Like just asking all these loaded questions. And Ubisoft's like, look, this is we can't do what these other people are doing because look at the news. Look at all these countries who are now banning surprise mechanics because it's gambling.
Surprise
mechanics.
The
The best NBA game right now is just it's Vegas. It's just a casino, right?
Yeah, basically.
And that's baffling that we live in a world where the best NBA game is just a casino right now. And like people with kids, like you want that to be their video game? Like instead of just having a great basketball game that you can buy for $60, now you have to worry about your kid's addiction to gambling? It's ridiculous, right? Like that's absolutely absurd. And that's not how it should be. It's it's crazy. So, and that's why we need competition. That's why we need more different NFL games, different NBA games, different, because that's why I want Star Wars to be at multiple companies. So it's not just the same old BS. The fact that we're even getting this Jedi Order is a direct result of the world telling them that they don't like that Battlefront because of the loot boxes.
Yeah, no kidding.
So, yeah, I don't know. Sorry, I'll get off my box here, but yeah, it's ridiculous.
Get off your loot box.
Oh. Yeah. Exactly.
It's fun.
Yeah. But anyway, good for Ubisoft. I don't play a lot of their games, but I'm always excited to hear what they're coming up with because it's always different, and I know it's not going to be something. It's just never predatory.
Yeah.
So I will always support that.
Yeah. Last little bit of game news I got here. The other week we got some more Gigantamax Pokemon.
Yep.
And some of them look neat. Like I like that Pikachu is back to being Fat Pikachu.
Fat Pikachu.
He's adorable. I love him. I miss him so much. No, hang on. We're gonna get to Meowth in a minute.
Oh, you still like Meowth?
Eevee has like the big puff of fur. Like it almost has like a giant Victorian collar. It's kind of neat. Charizard looks like, giant Charizard. What? Yeah. How do you change that? Well, you just make him bigger and you light more of him on fire. Okay, done. Butterfree looks really neat. I like Gigantamax Butterfree. It's very...
I bet Xavier Woods loved that.
Yeah, right? No kidding. And then
now he's off for like 6 months.
A year, maybe.
Oh, a year?
Yeah, could be up to a year.
Play so many games.
Yeah, his recovery time might be as long as Meowth.
His Instagram's on fire right now, though.
I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like he's edited a whole bunch of stuff together of him, like contemplating eating Doritos with ice cream and going crazy.
He's the last thing. I mean, look at everything that Woods had been doing already. Now he has all this free time.
Oh, he's calling it #off season. So, like, I hope that he really amps up his Twitch and everything else because
he's gonna live on Twitch.
He has to, dude. He could make so much money just doing Twitch and having random stars pop in every once in a while.
Right, because nobody else is on Twitch anymore. They're all on Mixer.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah, dude. They've been picking up some people.
Ninja and Shroud both went to Mixer. Holy hell.
I think Shroud's an even bigger deal. Well, I don't know.
No, Ninja is the biggest. Okay, overall, like mainstream appeal-wise, Ninja's the bigger deal.
I think Ninja's a bigger deal, but I think Shroud is more with people who actually like first-person shooting. And
exactly.
Stuff.
That's exactly where I was going to go with that because Shroud. Yeah. I mean, Shroud is Call of Duty royalty.
He is aimbot.
Yes.
He is a living version of that.
Yeah. So it's he for the more I think technically focused players, he's a much bigger get. But that's the thing though. Mixer is picking up different audiences this way.
Right.
They're not overlapping, which I think is fantastic.
Yeah.
But, who's that leave left that's giant
probably
on
Dr.
Twitch?
Disrespect is probably the biggest. out of all of them.
No, who's the guy that does Warcraft? That I mean, nobody likes, but he was.
Oh, and um,
I'll know it when you say it.
Asmongold.
Yes, and I know like nobody likes him. He had more views for Classic than like everybody else on Twitch put together.
He's the biggest,
yeah,
for sure. He's the biggest.
Yeah, but I mean that's if they get somebody
it's
like
controversial, but
yeah.
He's not for everybody, definitely.
Right.
I'm weird with him because he's very like I don't like the edgelord type BS.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I enjoy some of his videos, but when it involves talking about Warcraft.
Yeah,
and Warcraft only, not all the other stuff around it. I hate the edgelord shit like that. It's all bullshit. But I also don't understand why he has so many followers.
Because people really love WoW.
I've seen him around for years. Noble. Noble is one of my favorite because it's the lore and stuff like that.
Oh, I love Noble. Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, he's great. And Jesse Cox, he's great too. And then of course, Total Biscuit, he was fantastic. But his numbers are insane. I imagine him. I think Dr. Disrespect is probably more widely known for like mainstream, just because like he pops up at NBA games and the controversies and stuff like that.
Yeah, he has a look where you're like, wait, I think I know that guy.
Yeah, but he's totally toned back all of that, like other stuff the stuff that got him in trouble. Now, like he brings his daughter on a lot of streams. He's way more wholesome than he used to be, but he's still ridiculous. I imagine that Dr. Disrespect is probably the next person they would poach.
Agreed. Because I think Asmongold, being Warcraft primarily, would stick to Twitch.
Yeah, he's just Warcraft.
Yeah, I don't think
because Disrespect has like headphone deals and stuff like that. So
yeah, that's like he'll be next.
Yeah,
he's
a character. My friends who don't even play video games that much, they have a PlayStation.
Yeah,
always ask me about the Dr. Disrespect guy because they always see like random clips of him like losing his mind and stuff, and they don't know who he is.
Yeah.
But they ask me just because I'm kind of the nerd of the group. They're like, "Who's this guy? He's funny as hell." But it's. But have you tried Mixer?
I haven't. No.
I don't like it at all.
There's a shock. A Microsoft product that isn't entirely friendly.
It is bananas. I tried to watch one of the Microsoft. I don't know, when Sony was doing their Sony State of Play and then Microsoft was doing their Microsoft State of Play or whatever.
Oh, yeah, I think I did do one of those. I think like I did their E3 conference on Mixer one year or something.
And like things were popping up and I didn't understand it and it felt like Twitch on crack.
Fair.
And I couldn't get the things from stopping up and the things were like interrupting the show.
Yeah.
I couldn't get it to stop and I couldn't get the chat to stop. I couldn't hide the chat.
No, that made me crazy.
Yeah, I was just like, with Twitch, it's like, oh, there's a little arrow. Boom, chat's gone.
Yeah.
I could just watch the video and enjoy that for what it is. Yeah, it was a bit weird. So, I don't know. And, the thing is Ninja didn't bring people over to Mixer like they thought it was going to happen. That's why I think they're really going after a lot more streamers now. Because they're like, hey, instead of just getting the big fish, let's get a whole bunch of the fish and throw money at them. So, like, now that if you're into, like, half of these guys, you're going to go to Mixer anyway to watch these people. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, where were we? Sorry. We're talking about Pokemon Sword and Shield, right?
Yeah. And, Gigantamax Meowth, which is basically, like, they found a way to make Longcat.
Yeah.
And it just looks, it's ridiculous. I love it, but, oh my god, it's ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. This is a cool new feature. At first, I was like, Gigantamax, whatever. But yeah, when I saw the Fat Pikachu, I was like, all right, I'm in.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm totally down for a Fat Pikachu.
I want to see how they incorporate this into Pokemon Go as well.
Yeah. Oh boy.
That's coming.
Yeah.
That's where all that rating and stuff came from.
Yeah, it's gonna take 40 people to show up. Like,
yep.
It's a giant beach ball Pikachu. What do we do? Get the entire town involved.
Yep. Should be fun though. That's soon, man. That's next month.
Gotcha, it is, isn't it?
Getting close.
Yeah.
Getting close. I'm excited. There's a lot of games and movies and stuff coming out, especially next month's gonna be just packed.
Yeah, it's true.
Star Wars, Pokemon, just jumping in. I think that's it. Anything you wanted to review or?
No, I think we pretty much kind of covered everything.
AEW's been great.
AEW's been awesome.
Yeah.
They're here in 2 weeks, and I'm gonna go.
Nice.
They're going to the Bojangles Coliseum. I'll be there.
Nice. The Bojangles Coliseum.
It's the South, man. What do you
Oh
want?
yeah.
Like, it's perfect. Yeah, they're not playing the. They're in Charlotte, but they're not playing the Spectrum Center, which holds I think like 12 or 13,000.
Yeah.
Bojangles Coliseum holds like 9, I think. So it's not a big step down, but it's like it's the size arena they should run. It's perfect for them.
The Bowplex.
The Bowplex, yes.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. It looks great.
It's a good size because they do like the minor league hockey games there and stuff, and it's it's a civic center size place.
Yeah.
It holds I think like 8,000-9,000, and I think that's that's more than respectable.
Oh yeah, and you as long as you get the crowd excited, and there's like I was looking at old WCW, like I think it was like when Goldberg won his first championship.
Well, but I mean that was because it was Goldberg.
The crowd is losing their fucking like you never see WWF, and then you go back and watch the old WWF videos like with The Rock and Stone Cold. The crowd is losing their shit.
Go back at the peak of that for each company is Goldberg in Atlanta because he was from Atlanta and they built that up and it was crazy. And then in the old WWF, it was Mankind winning the championship.
Yeah.
That's the one where that crowd went insane because you had Mankind, you had DX, you had Stone Cold, like every player was there and had a part to play.
Yep.
And it was insane. That is arguably the biggest and most sustained pop I think ever.
Yep.
It's just wild.
Oh yeah. But what I was gonna say is that's what reminded me of with like even that little segment of Chris Jericho and Cody and him going up there.
Yeah, and everybody's hyped.
Smashing the glass.
Everybody's hyped. Everybody's excited. Everybody's on board. Like that's
They're like, oh, he's jumping over the, it was just insane.
Good times. Good times. Can't wait. Very exciting.
Oh, yeah.
And it's the go home show before Full Gear. So it's hopefully it gets a little crazy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And how do you get Full Gear? Do you just got to order like a pay-per-view?
I think it's I think it's through Fight. I think they have a partnership through Fight TV.
Oh, okay. Can you get that? Like, can you watch it on the computer?
I think so. Yeah, should be.
Is it like an app? Okay.
I don't use I haven't used Fight, so I don't know. But to me it's kind of like a pay-per-view platform of sorts. It seems like, but it focuses on like pro wrestling and MMA and boxing, that kind of stuff.
So I'm only seeing Impact and WWE on their Fight.tv.
I think so, yeah. And it may just be because it's not available yet. It's not for a few weeks.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I definitely want to get that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's FITE.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, I see it now.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no, the other Fight. Yeah, okay, yeah. Unfortunately, this membership offering, okay. Unfortunately, this membership offering is not available in your territory. AEW Plus. Yeah. Oh, that's where like if you can't get access to the TV station.
Right. That's for that's like their UK and international deal kind of thing.
Oh, okay. I see. Yeah. Honor United is ROH. AEW. Here we go. Dynamite. I'm sure it's on here somewhere. And like I said, it may not be on there yet because it's not for like 2 weeks. Yeah. That's exciting.
But it'll be a good time. I'm excited. Like this is what's great because I've been to WWE events and they're, the crowds are the crowds, but I have been there for some dead crowds.
Yeah.
And I understand the CM Punk chants because you get bored. Yeah. You do. And it's, but watching AEW, like there's no time for that. It's just go, go, go. And I'm about it. Let's do it.
Oh yeah.
But so I don't know. We'll see. I'll let you know how different it is.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited. Yep. Let us know. And I think we'll be back this time next week. What'd your schedule look like?
Sounds good.
Sounds good. Yes. So we'll be back next week. We got more to talk about. So make sure you go to our Facebook group, We Geek Podcast. Go to our, you can email us at wegeekpodcast@gmail.com. We got our YouTube channel, We Geek Podcast, where we upload our episodes. We are on every form of. We got your Apple podcast. your Google. You can find us on. Help me out here. What are some of the other apps we're on?
We're on Spotify.
Spotify. That's it. Yes. And yeah, that's it. And then again, make sure you go to our Facebook group, We Geek Podcast. We'll post things throughout the week, and that's it. We'll see you next week, Captain.
Captain.